How is everybody doing today? This is Chess Optics. I'm glad to be here with you, and I'm excited to bring you a game of one of my favorite chess players, if not the favorite chess player of all time. And you know him if you are very fluent in chess history. His name is Mikhail Tal, also known as the Magician from Riga. Misha is another name that he often went by. This man is a legend for a reason. He's a tactical maniac, a monster. Tal puts work in on a chessboard. And in this game, he was only 12 years old when he played the guy by the name of Ratmir Holmar. I believe that is the other master's name, who he actually played in this game. And Tal is just such a formidable opponent, man, that you never know when something is going to come out of the blue from his side of the board. A sacrifice, a swashbuckling exchange sack, or even a checkmate for that matter. So let's look at how this game began. Tal has the black pieces, and he faces the first move from his opponent, which is c4, and he responds with e6. His opponent plays knight to c3, and we see d5 and then d4. c6, knight to f3, and knight to f6. Bishop to g5, and then the pawn captures on c4. We have e4 and b5. And then e5, h6, bishop takes f6, and pawn takes f6. After g takes f6, white has to consider the g file as a possible pathway of penetration into his position, which is why I've put these arrows here. After e takes f6, bishop to b4, bishop to e2, queen takes f6. White castles, and we have bishop captures c3, b takes c3, and then knight to d7. a4 is played by the white side, bishop to b7, knight to e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, queen takes e5, and bishop to f3 is the next move. Black plays rook to d8, queen to c2 from white, rook to d3, and then we have a takes b5. And Tal comes up with this crushing move. Do you see the next move he's about to play? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that move is rook takes f3. And if you're thinking about taking this rook back with the pawn, well, that's just going to get you crushed, because after g takes f3, rook to g8, king to h1, c takes b5, the queen has to go to d1 to try and stop the bishop from mating immediately by capturing here on f3. But then after queen to f4, there's really nothing that white can do to prevent the decisive ending of checkmate. Giving up the queen only gets him alive for one move, and that is basically why after rook takes f3, white played rook to a7 instead. But after queen takes b5, he then decides to play g takes f3, which I don't think was a good idea. I think he probably should have played rook takes b7, even though he probably still losing. Queen takes b7. He is actually up a whole rook in this line, but looking at it a little bit further, you can see g takes f3 gives him a little bit more time to survive. It goes to h1. We have c5, queen to e2 to protect, queen to d5. The rook comes over to a1. I'm not going to look at this whole line, but I think that I actually think that g takes f3 at move 20 is not as good as rook takes b7. So after g takes f3, what happens is queen comes over to g5 with check, king goes to h1, rook to g8, and at this point there's really nothing you can do about what's getting ready to happen to you on g2. I mean, sliding the rook over just gets you mated. You could put the queen here, but that only allows one more move before you're eventually mated, because the rook will attack, take it. So there's not much for white to do, so white decided to resign in this position. And I hope you enjoy this game, and there's something in it that you can use and learn from, even if you only learn how to use an OpenG file. But I thought I would bring this game to you because it was played at a time when Tal was only 12 years old, and I think it's amazing. And hopefully you can you can find something of value in it to help you improve in your next chess game. And with that, I say, as I always do, peace. May your chess be the best.